Good morning from Yerevan, Armenia. We've spent the last couple of days here literally just trying to figure out this city and navigate it. So today's video is going to be a traveler's guide to Yerevan. We want to share with you all the tips that we've learned over these past few days. If you follow our channel, you know how much we talk about price, so that's where we're going to start today. The hostel that we are staying in is only $9 a night per bed, and it comes with everything that we would need. Wi-Fi, kitchen, washer, and even curtains on the bed, which is rare for hostels, so you have privacy.
So not only is it $9 a night, but it's a nice hostel.
We do normally stay in Airbnbs, but even those were actually out of our price range, kind of averaging like $50 to $70 per night. And then the hotels were even beyond that and just simply too expensive for us.
The next thing is cash or card. In downtown Yerevan, you can pay for almost anything with a card. Grocery stores, cafes, and restaurants. However, you're still gonna need cash on you for other things like transportation, smaller shops, and tips. Our recommended method of how to get cash is to go to an ATM connected to a bank. You usually get the lowest fees. You can exchange cash pretty much everywhere in this city. However, you cannot exchange Turkish lira even though it's a bordering country. So bring euro or another form of currency.
What are you doing? Perhaps money is not a major concern for you when you travel, but what does matter for anyone coming from anywhere is whether or not the water is safe to drink, and in Yerevan it is. There are these fountains called pulpulak all over the place, and I have seen everyone and anyone drink straight from them, which is the perfect indication that you can too. There is a man behind us that won't stop following us. He's trying to draw Nathan's face. We have very politely said no thank you. And here he comes. Nathan, don't go down, you'll just trap yourself. Let's go back this way. Ugh. He won't leave us alone. It's very frustrating. I don't know. Something we noticed the moment that we arrived in this city was just how westernized and modern it was. You can still find the hole-in-the-wall kind of grungy restaurants if you want, but there are very clean and very upscale places all across the city. Okay, listen, I'm sorry, can you not follow us anymore? Yeah, you keep following us, so if we turn around, you're gonna turn around again. Let's go this way.
My project.
I know, but it's making us uncomfortable that you're following us.
Go.
So please stop. Maybe that wasn't polite, but I did try to get him to stop following us, and he just ignored me. So we will probably have to just pick a restaurant and sit down and hope that he doesn't follow us in there. I don't know. Go on this way. Go on this way. We literally just ran away from this man. I hope this has an exit. It doesn't. We'll just hope for the best here. Fortunately, this has nothing to do with tips and tricks of the city, but if there's a man following you, you just gotta run away apparently. I think we got rid of him.
This was a bad representation of what our experience has been here in Yerevan. We've been out more in this city than most other places. Since we're in a hostel, we've gone to cafes and restaurants every single day. Hasn't happened at all.
This place is great, and honestly, he might be a traveler. I think that's what he says. So, yeah, this has nothing to do with the city whatsoever.
No, this could happen anywhere.
The streets here are just lined with cafe after cafe. They're all very nice, a little more upscale and kind of pricier. Pricier in the sense that it's similar to US prices and not exactly the budget-friendly places that we always strive for.
There's also a diverse amount of food here. You can find Mexican food, pizza, Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, and then of course Armenian food.
We're gonna grab some lunch really quick. The total cost for lunch actually turned out to be very reasonable, but just to provide some further examples, here's what it costs for us to get 2 cappuccinos, and here's the average price that we spend every night for dinner. You could totally find it cheaper if you wanted, you just have to look a little harder.
One thing to look out for is a 10% service charge, especially at the nicer restaurants. And if you want to leave a little bit more on top of that, always tipping cash.
The transportation in this city has been by far our biggest learning curve. It definitely exists, but you have to know where to look and how to use it.
Google Maps for public transit does not work, does not exist, but that doesn't mean that there aren't buses to every single area of the city and outside of the city, for a very reasonable price too. We have a couple things on our to-do list today, one of those being get train tickets to our next destination and also bus tickets.
Our first day here, we tried so hard to get our bus tickets and train tickets ahead of time for peace of mind, and we failed miserably, but we did learn a lot, so we're going to take you with us as we return to hopefully buy them both today.
Our first attempt at public transport actually went really well. There's a bus right outside the airport, bus 201, and it takes you straight into the center of town. It's about 30 minutes and it only costs 300 drams. It tells you exactly where it stops, and you can pretty much tell the bus driver in Armenian if you need to stop someplace else.
To be perfectly honest, the buses are still intimidating even for us, so we're gonna take the metro to go buy our train tickets, and we'll try to figure out the buses together afterwards.
The metro is really simple. You have to go to a ticket window and get these plastic coins. These are 100 dram a piece. You get one before you go on every single metro, and we only have to go 2 stops. The metro is not very far reaching, so you can't get everywhere with it, but it can take us to where we're going. Honest mistake or not, always count your change. I've been shorted a number of different times here and in other countries also. Google Translate works terribly with Armenian. You can't really use the camera function, which is what we use all the time, but most of the time they have Russian also, so go for Russian.
Although we're still discussing the transportation methods throughout the city, I did want to bring up the communication and the fact that we are having a more difficult time here. Not many people at all speak English, but people are willing to help. All you have to do is ask, and eventually you will get to where you need to be or get the assistance that you're looking for. You just cannot be afraid to talk to people. You'll find these underground shops all over the city. This is literally how you cross the street. There's nicer ones, less nice ones, but people use them, and then people definitely shop in them as well.
This is also where you can find some cheaper food. They did not want us filming on that metro.
No. So whatever we got is what we got. We're almost to the train station. We just came up from the underground right here, and this is the train station. It is very, very nice and a lot more up to date than most of the bus stations you're going to see. Hello.
Hello.
2 overnight train tickets to Tbilisi.
Two-person cabin? Sure.
Yep. 50,700 divided by...
400.
That's $126?
Is that how much it's supposed to be?
I don't know. What is second class?
Is that still 2-person?
No, 4 people, 1.
4 people, 1 row.
That's $90. Evening train, yes. Thank you very much.
Money? Money. How much was it? 50,000.
50,500.
Okay.
Success. We just purchased our overnight train tickets out of Yerevan and into Tbilisi a few days from now. We are at the Sasunti Davit train station here, and it is the central train station in the city.
The tickets were 50,500 dram total, and although that sounds like a lot and that we did pay for first class tickets, it is way cheaper than to fly. Flying is over $100, and we have overnight luxury.
The second class berth, where we'd have to share a room with 2 other people, was not that much cheaper. We could have taken the easy route and taken the metro back, which is only 2 stops, but we're gonna attempt this bus because we want to help you figure it out. It can't be that hard.
There are bus stops all over the city, but it doesn't tell you which buses stop here or even really what direction to go to, so I know what bus number we need. That's about it. Right here. This is it.
Really? So far, easy peasy.
I don't know if this is taking us in the right direction.
The next stop. Thank you. How exciting was that? Holy moly. That was nuts.
I'd rather take the metro just because it was faster and more comfortable, but
I
it's the same
lo-
cost.
But I loved it. More of the locals seem to take that bus though.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad we did that. How exactly did we discover that bus?
Went to t-armenia.com. It works exactly like Google Maps. You type in where you're starting from, your destination, and it tells you which bus to get on and how much it costs and all the stops in between. And that actually was an older bus. There are much more newer modern buses around.
And it is the same cost to take that type of bus as it is to ride the metro, but as Nathan already mentioned, the metro only goes so far throughout the city.
To pay for the bus, it is cash only, small coins only, and you pay when you get off, not when you get on.
This is Republic Square, which is honestly the central part of town, but I don't really know why.
Bunch of big fancy government buildings.
Yeah, this is one of the things to see when you research Yerevan. One small tip, keep an eye out on the crosswalks. It probably goes without saying, but when the light turns green, several cars here still tend to go. I don't know if that's just like a right-of-way type of thing, but don't immediately start crossing the street. Give it a few seconds. Our train tickets were cash only, so all of the money that we just took out of the ATM is already used up, so we gotta go get some more. Don't worry if the metro or buses are a little out of your comfort zone. There is a third option, and that's the local taxi app, Yandexgo.
Yandexgo works exactly like Uber. You pick where you want to go, where you want to get picked up, and you can pay in cash. We love apps like this because you know how much you're paying before you get into the taxi. Not all taxis around here have meters, and you have to negotiate.
We were actually told by a local to pay in cash. There is an option to put your card information in, but they said don't, so I wouldn't either.
I think that's mostly just because everybody pays with cash here, so they're just used to it. Maybe they don't trust cards as much, I don't know.
Perhaps. The other day we used this taxi app to take a 20-minute ride to the bus station, and it only cost 1,200 dram. We weren't quite confident to use the buses just yet.
In order to use the Yandexgo app, you need a phone number. We bought a SIM card at the airport through Viva MTS. We got 5 gigabytes of data for about 2,600 dram, and that was a great deal. You also get unlimited data for a ton of social media apps like YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all of that, so you're pretty covered.
We briefly mentioned this when we were down in the metro, but having phone service has seriously just saved us. It's really something you're going to want when you come here. This may or may not be useful to some of you, but as a female, I do question what I am and am not allowed to wear in certain locations, and here in Yerevan, you are perfectly fine to wear a tank top and shorts. So, in case that helps. So far, we've showed you what to expect when it comes to the cost of lodging, cost of food, cost of transportation, and which mode of transportation you may or may not want to take. But last but not least, let's talk about some sightseeing in and around this city. You've already seen what Republic Square looks like, which is the center of town. But now we're going to take you to the Cascade Complex. I've heard that if you miss this in Yerevan, then you didn't really see the city. Nathan says this is his favorite statue of all time. No clue why. He says it's the mustache.
It is. The Staircase Cascade is so much more than just a staircase. It holds the Contemporary Art Museum, and it can be considered the original decoration of the city. And you don't have to climb the stairs to get to the top. So I'm told.
I couldn't find the escalator. We could use the exercise, it's okay.
I found the escalator. We just realized this isn't even the top, it's just as far as the escalators took us. Got a little ways to go.
This is pretty amazing. I really wish every city had something like this because we would go to the top all the time. I love that it's so much more than just an overlook of the city. There is art and storytelling the entire way. I'm impressed. Another major recommendation in the city of Yerevan is the Armenian Genocide Museum. And as far as I understand, the admission is completely free. In case anyone's wondering, the escalator entrance is like way off to the side. That's how we missed it.
You have to walk into the art museum.
Yeah. Another museum that you may be interested in visiting is the Museum of Ancient Manuscripts. Tickets for adults are about 1,500 dram. It's also recommended that you pay extra for a guide, because then you just get the most out of your visit. If you're interested in taking inexpensive and quick day trips outside of Yerevan, check out the Garni Temple and the Gegard Monastery. We will not be visiting either because we actually have our own plans coming up, which involves a several-hour bus ride to the other side of Armenia. If you want to see exactly where that bus ride takes us, hit that subscribe button please and follow along. And if you found this video useful at all, please let us know in the comments below. And if you think there's any vital information that we left out, also let us know. Comment below, help us out, help others out. This was what we learned in Yerevan. We thought it would be useful to you guys, but stay tuned for what's coming up next. We're really excited to explore more of Armenia.